Welcome. Thank you to the pipes and drums. My name is Marcus Lay. I am the training chief here at Eugene Springfield Fire. Welcome to all those that have never been here before, and thank you for coming to celebrate the graduation of Class 29. I'd like to take a minute just to kind of point out a couple of elected officials and executives. I saw Chaim Hertz. Thank you for joining us today, Councilor Groves and Councilor Rodley. And I'm sorry. And anybody else they missed? So, it's a lot of pomp and circumstance, it would seem like, to have the band here and have all of us here to celebrate a graduation of a 14-week class. But it's really kind of, and it's an acknowledgement of what these individuals have done, but also an acknowledgement about what they're getting ready to do. Because it's only just started. 14 weeks at the beginning of at least 25 years, that it's going to form their lives, their families' lives, and really wrap around it. These 6 individuals have worked hard, they've trained hard, they've become a team. I can remember the Friday night before their first Monday at Academy, they came in and got kind of the lay of the land. And I told them, I said, look, you have to become a team. You have to become a team in order to be successful. And I see some groups struggle, but these guys, they took a little while. They were pretty quiet, but they really came together. And it was pretty evident, maybe week 7, 8, I could see the look in their eye like they were starting to get a little bit cagey. And there was inside jokes going on among the group, and they were getting a little bit antsy. So I'm really proud of them, and they've done a wonderful job. The people that are here to support them today, I want you to know that I'm proud of them. You should be proud of them, and thank you for being here to support them. Even though the day is about them, I want to take a minute to talk about the training staff, because they are equally as responsible for the success that we're witnessing here today. Captain Giles, the lead training captain, Captain Myers, Instructor Manley, and Instructor Hayes brought these individuals through 14 weeks. They did a wonderful job. Also, Barb Courtney. Barb, where are you? So Barb is ending her official employment with us in a couple of weeks. And so although she may be around for another academy because we're going to hire her back, this is her last official academy. And so you guys don't know how lucky you are to have been able to have Barb here to support you. She's wonderful. And I hope that we have another academy soon enough so she can kick 30 out of the door also. So with that, I would like to introduce the Chief of the Department, Interim Fire Chief Scott Cockrum.
Well, thank you, everybody. The gift I'm going to give you today is brevity, so I'm going to get you going fast here. I think the goal here today is to get these men sworn in and in front of their families and their family members to enjoy the beginning of a great and wonderful career. Thanks, Chief Lay. Chief Lay has ran several academies here. I think this is his last one, too. He's rotating back out to be a battalion chief back out in the line. In the short time that I've really been here, he's been a real inspiration for me. You know, he told me recently that you're one of the few people around here that intimidate me, and I thought, you gotta be kidding me. You're one of my favorite people that work here. So he's extremely talented. We're looking forward to him getting back out on the line and what the last few years that he's gonna bring to the organization is. So in addition to the training staff here, I just want to commend the men and women at the back of the room also. And when I think Chief Heppel gets up here, he does a good job of thanking all of the members of the agency that helped to provide the training to get these men through this 14 weeks. The commitment of this organization is beyond comparison to any place I have ever been. We have some tremendous men and women here that are really, there are too few of them truly to do the work that is needed to be done, particularly when we look at the opportunities for training and specialty assignments and overtime and out-of-county assignments and all the work that we do. So the commitment and time that they put in is commendable. I say that because I want you to remember that when these 6 men are out there and you're wondering where they went. The public demands quite a commitment from us. It's much greater than some other average job. There's a significant commitment of time. There's going to be times when you are wondering where they are, and they're going to get mandatory and forced back to work, or they're going to be working at a football game or some other event out there. So it's a significant commitment, time, and stress on them. So I've had the opportunity. This is my 33rd year in the fire service. I've only been here for a short time. I'm here for just a short stint. So today I'm just going to talk to you more like a father and a husband to a wife that was in the fire service and a father to a son that's in the fire service. You know, I sat in these seats and remembered the commitment that I had and the waiting for the phone call to get this job, and then going to the academy, and then sitting on this side of it with my wife and son out here in the audience. And then now I'm standing here as a fire chief, worked my way up to this position. And then I spent time in the audience watching friends and go through this and that. And then a number of years ago, I had the opportunity to watch my own son go through this. So I've been through every piece of this process. And I think the most proud of the moments I've had is sitting out there where you guys are and watching my own son walk across this and knowing the commitment and the career and what it's brought to all of us and my family over the years. So I hope you enjoy that. So what I want to remind you of is that this job is hard and it is stressful, and as you are going to work the number of hours that they work and include the hours of overtime and the hours of special assignments and the hours of training and the demands that the public puts on them and the commitment that they put on them, it's stressful. We come home every day and it feels like we're on 4 days off. Everybody thinks it's great, 4 days off. But the commitment that we put in is pretty stressful. So it takes a village. It takes all of us in this room. It takes a village to run a family with somebody who's working the kind of shift that we're working. So keep that in mind as they're coming up. And finally, to the men that are up here, is that our job has changed in my 33 years. There was a time in my career when a fire chief would come to me and say, you know, Scott, that people are going to call you at the worst time in their lives. It may be the only time in their life that they have an interaction with somebody in the fire service. So be that guy to let them know that you're there and that you care. Well, that's changed now. A lot of people are calling us to get through their daily lives. 80% of the people out there have never called 911 or called 911 and had that certain one interaction. But 20% of the people out there that are doing the majority of the calls are the ones that are creating the majority of the calls but can't get through their daily lives. So that's where we're starting to need to step up, and we're starting to see the impacts of that business on us. So our call volumes continue to increase, the resourcing continue to decrease. So the stress on all of our resources out there becomes more and more difficult every day, right? So that's where we all have to step up and remember that when we're seeing them coming home. At the firehouse, they have an opportunity to go back to the coffee table after a call, and they don't really have the processing time, right? We sit down, we get to the next work assignment, whatever that is. We don't really process what just happened, but when we get home, we start to process those things because we don't have that group of people sitting in front of us or we don't want to talk about it with the family, so it becomes stressful. So at the end of this, I just want you to remember that take care of them. Take care of your young firefighters out there. We're going to do our best to take care of them also. We're part of this, part of the team. These men and women in the back of this room are going to for sure take care of them. These men over here are going to take care of them. So we're all in this together. So we appreciate you. Congratulations, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And I would just like to say that the way that we go about things here, the way that the amount of focus that we put on training and how serious we take our job is really a tone that's set. And I have been fortunate enough to work for somebody who really takes training and education to heart It's at the core of how they approach things and how they organize the training, and I've learned a lot from this person, and you're about ready to hear from them. So next you'll hear from Deputy Chief of Strategic Service, Chris Heppel.
Wow, what an amazing time. Every time I have the opportunity to come up here to a graduation or retirement or promotion process, I always say this is my favorite time, because those are clearly the phases and stages that you're getting ready to go through a 25-plus year career here at Eugene Springfield Fire. And so I'm going to start off first. Certainly I'd like to thank the staff as well, from all the training staff that was there. But I'm going to point out also some unsung heroes that have been along the way with you. You know, you didn't get to the academy without getting through like the human resource process and getting like your payroll stuff set up and getting all those things like the shirts you're wearing, the helmets we're getting about ready to issue you, et cetera. And all that comes from our support teams through HR, the ERC, our tech support folks, Manny, who's back here watching this whole thing on video while we're live feeding it, the admin team upstairs. Thanks to them, not only for every day what they do, but also for preparing you to get ready to go out in the field. And it's our job, up from the team upstairs and out back, to continue to support you for the next 25 to 30 years. Thanks to them who are doing that, and we're committed to you to help you do that, to be successful in your mission. To the family that's here today, thank you for being here. It's important. It's important that you're here. And here's why. Is because you've heard how we're going to support them. We're going to support them every day on the line. We're going to support them in whatever capacity we can. But on the days they trip, or on Sunday that they fall, you will pick them up. So thank you for being there for them. To your fellow recruits, you will never forget what you accomplished together. All those folks in the back room, I bet if I said, could you tell me who was in your academy and the things that occurred? Even with Chief Bishop with 37 plus years in the fire service could tell you the things that occurred on his first day in the academy and graduation, et cetera. You will never forget this group of people. Stay together, stay committed to each other. I hope during the academy you got mad. I hope you got overwhelmed. I hope we pushed you to the end. And I hope you considered quitting. I truly do. Because when training is harder than real life, you're equipped to succeed. In my 34 years in public service, very few actually rise to the occasion, but everyone falls to their training. Everyone falls to the training in those simple fundamental things that you learned. EMS, it's all great, the amazing drugs we can give and how we can intubate people in our RSIM. But when all else fails, don't forget it's basic life support. Air goes in and out. Blood's got to go round and round. Let's make it happen from that perspective. Our focus is to train you for all-hazard responses such as fire suppression, EMS, hazmat, wildland, water rescue, the list goes on. While the training team has taught you a multitude of these skill sets, it's up to you to decide which of those skills are needed to execute a successful outcome of a mission or a task. However, we don't know what the future will bring. Just in the last few decades, we've seen a rise in active violent incidents, wildfires growing in size and intensity, droughts, riots, and even a pandemic. All these are riveting examples of why we need to be continuous learners and remain flexible in our all hazards mission. If you want an effective career, it's not just about what you do, but it's about the trust, confidence, and the relationships that you build along the way, which are going to make you successful. Some of you may have an end vision of your career already, such as, I just want to be a captain. I just want to be a battalion chief. And you know what? I thought that too. But you know what? I recommend that you don't limit yourself and continue to prepare for the next step or opportunity. Because opportunity is the intersection of preparedness and timing. And there's only one piece of that equation that you can manage, and that's preparedness. You don't know when that opportunity is going to arise. Be prepared. I ask three things of you as you head out on the line. They sound pretty simple, but I'll elaborate a little bit more. First is to respond to calls. And while that may sound very simplistic, think about all the training you've done in the last 4 weeks and what it takes to actually respond to a call effectively. You need to do it safely, within policy, heed the chain of command, be cooperative while displaying positivity and exercising compassion. One thing that was taught to me early on when I came to this organization was when dealing with your community members and those who call 911 and those who are failing to cope, just because someone's not injured doesn't mean they're not hurting. Second is prepare to respond to calls. Simple things such as morning duties, being accountable for your actions, vehicle inspections, continuing education, case reviews, drilling, tailbird talks, and sometimes just simply rolling the hose are all part of preparing to respond to calls. Finally, improve the public trust. It's not about what you do, it's about how you made me feel in the end. Along the way, don't forget to take care of you, both physically and mentally. We very easily forget about ourselves and the impact that this job has on us on a daily basis. While we have friends and family out there who are going to watch out for us, make sure you're also looking out for you and taking care of yourself. Be proud of what you accomplished and embrace the adventure in which you're about to embark on. Continue to master your craft, take care of our communities, and I wish you all a remarkable career. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. Just a real quick shout out to all those out there watching us live streaming, all the crews in the station. Be safe today and this evening. I already talked a little bit about the training staff, but I have to say that a few months ago, before you guys came into Academy, we were kind of doing some short-term planning and trying to figure out what our staffing was going to look like, and not really sure where our training staff was going to fall out, and Captain Meyer had done the last 3 academies and was looking to focus on some other things, and I needed him other places in the department, and that's when Captain Giles dropped into my office and said, "Hey, you have any interest in having me here as a training captain?" And I said, I don't know. I had to play it cool. I didn't want to look too excited about it because I thought he might think too hard about it. But I can't emphasize enough how he has complemented our team coming in with his subject matter expertise in firefighting, but also his background in education. Ed and I, Captain Meyer and I, sat and really kind of watched in awe in the way that he handled this recruit class after we thought we had done a great job, which of course we had. Dan really Captain Giles really stepped it up and really showed us what varsity level education looks like. And so, Captain Giles, please come up and say a few words.
Well, nice words. Thank you very much. But I think that I was just lucky. I had a good group of guys, and also I had great partners that have been doing the academies for a while now. So every time I would wander off in maybe not the best direction, Ed would be there to turn me around. Maybe not. Don't do that, because I've tried it before. And Tyler, who consummate instructor, definitely has become a craftsman for the skills as a firefighter, along with just taking care of all of the equipment needs and material needs that definitely could not have done without those guys. Jonathan Hayes has been there it's his first time too as point, right, EMS instructor. So it was kind of fun to bounce ideas off of him too. So I really appreciate it. Of course, the rest of the training staff and down the hall, being able to come by and talk to Barb anytime and figure out how to do anything and everything. So I appreciate the comments, but couldn't have done it without you guys. And again, I think I have had just kind of fortunate to have such a good group of young men to start off with. See how that goes. So a lot has been said to families and the people that are important in the recruits' lives. And so thanks has kind of been said, but I'll reiterate it, that we really appreciate the understanding that it takes support at home to get these guys through. It's 14 hard weeks, a lot of fun times, a lot of hard times, maybe some tears, maybe some blood and other bodily fluids. But overall, at the end of the day, they rose to the challenge, whatever it was. Some of those things that they did to get here, and I won't say everything, but certainly hundreds of pages of SOPs and training manuals to pour through. And again, as a group, as Chief Lay mentioned, they did come together. It was inspiring to see. They were super cohesive from the beginning. And even though they were very quiet in front of us, I found out recently that the time that the stuff happened was from probably 6:30 to 0800 when I walked in the door, and they were sitting there, or standing there actually, all smiling. Like, what are you guys smiling about? So last night I got to find out a little bit of that. So they did help each other out immensely with all of the knowledge base that you have to have, which is, as mentioned before, incredible. It never stops, right? We continue to learn. So just the knowledge base. And then the skill-based stuff that they did, again, more than this, but certainly dozens and dozens of hydrants taken, ladders thrown and climbed, countless miles of hose pulled, walls broken through. Thank you, Jordan, providing that for them. You'll hear that was a special day. This was kind of a fun one to watch. So you can picture basically a manhole-sized hole in the floor, and they put a thin piece of wood on it and cut a bunch of diagonal cuts in there, broke most of them out, and then said, jump in. And by the way, it's 8 feet down. So fully packed up, difficult task. They, without hesitation, jumped right in. So they're hanging there like this, expecting, knowing that the rest of their academy is going to save them, pull them out, and yard them out of that hole. So they did. And that was part of some of the most fun times, just to see their character come out. So fun for me, maybe not so fun for them as they're getting yarded out and maybe some bloody noses, whatever it takes, right? The other component, we have a feet test. Hopefully they've told you about it. You'll get to see some video footage of them performing the tasks. But there's a time standard for them to complete a bunch of emergency tasks, and it's 30 minutes. And so the first time they do it, it's usually nobody passes. And I think we might have had one or maybe two, which was good. So the average time for the first time was about 32 minutes. So it was pretty good, really, as a whole. At the very last one they did, or one of the last ones they did, their average was down to about 20 minutes and 45 seconds. So huge amount of physical improvement. They gained efficiencies as we went through there. Thanks, Jace, for bringing the time way down. All right. So enough talking about them. I want them to give you guys a little insight into what it was like to be in their academy. So I asked recruits to send me kind of a high, a low, something impactful, some people that really influenced them or helped them, and maybe a contribution, either theirs or someone else's. So I'm going to go through. Josh, this is what Josh said. High point. Everyone making it through academy and forming a lifelong bond. We had each other's back and never let anyone fall behind when a good concept was not understood. So his high point. Big impact, Andrew Hooklin. Hooklin helped me out during EMS portion of academy and helped me with perfecting my skills. Hooklin also acted as a mentor to me, and I could always go to him for advice. Thank you, Andrew. Where is he? There he is. Contribution, This is from Josh. Garrett and Luis have made big impacts on me. Garrett, Luis, and I would always show up early in the morning and practice fire skills together because they needed it. It wasn't in there, but we would also study in the morning and go over material we did not understand because they needed it. Low point, tunnel vision during my midterm. During the midterm, I became hyper-focused and tuned everyone out who gave me instructions. This is a common thing that happens under stress. It's auditory and visual exclusion. So not unusual for a new person to have this happen. So, and should I read the rest of it? You said I yelled at you. I don't remember yelling at you. It took Captain Gales yelling at me several times in my face before I could realize and come out of the hole and realize what was happening. So that was from Josh. Thank you, Josh, for sharing. Jeff. So his top one, which is the high point, was passing the feet test for the first time and then passing it on one bottle, which was definitely a high point for me. So it's a difficult task to do, breathing, conserving air and being able to complete all those tasks and have that level of exertion. There are many, so number 2, the big impact. There are many big impacts, but I think that the Kobayashi Maru drill was one of my favorite drill days. Having the crews work with us through a large-scale, near-impossible event was a great experience. That is, yeah, it is all out, multiple bottles, multiple entries. They throw ladders, climb in the ladder through the window, and try to follow the rope down to a victim. It goes from the second floor to the first floor to the basement, back up to the first floor, back up down to the basement, just all over the place. And there was walls put in place. That was the bashing through the walls, multiple obstacles to overcome. So that was the part that was most impactful, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed those several days of it, actually. So along with that, he says, having the crews work with us through a large-scale, near impossible, oh, sorry, I read that. The third part, his contribution or others. I'm not sure if I contributed or helped with anything outside of working with the team. You did. But I feel every single one of my classmates helped me in some way. Sure, that's true. I would say, so number 4, this is kind of adding on. I would say the first couple of weeks were some of the most challenging. So Jeff's from Wisconsin and doesn't have family out here. So I moved with his wife, and that's, a pretty courageous thing to do. So he says, it was tough adjusting to a new state while starting this difficult academy. And number 5 is low point, or I don't know, so maybe you didn't have a low point. I've been so grateful for guys in my class throughout this academy from the beginning. They've been checking in on me every day and would constantly offer to help with anything I need. Garrett even took time to take me and my wife out on a hike. I also appreciated all of the training staff and the line crews that helped out. Dedication and positive attitude towards learning at ESF is truly infectious. And that is a very true statement. We got to see line crews come out and help very often, and that's really what kind of drove the recruits. They enjoyed it immensely. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing. Luis, there he is down there. My highest point of academy was the first time I passed my feet. I was disappointed in myself for taking so long, but it was a great feeling once I finally passed, and my workouts paid off. So he would, on his off days, go at the volunteer department he worked at and throw pack and climb stairs and work himself to see if he could eventually get to pass the feet, which again is admirable and difficult task. Number 2, that would be, I didn't write that. His big impact, Instructor Hayes took his time away to help me as much as he could. He also was with me during the feat, motivating me to do better and to not stop. That was inspirational. He also helped me, this is someone else, Mose and Brett. probably not in here. They really helped me and gave me confidence with my skills on the ambulance. Josh was able to help me a lot when it came to EMS skills and protocols, and I was able to help him out when it came to fire schools when he needed it. My lowest point was week 6 when everybody had passed the feet, except me. But after that he did, and continued to improve his time. A special thanks to the staff all the way through and his academy partners, and he said, without you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you. So thanks for sharing, Luis. Keith, his high point was finding out that all the recruits passed their final test and would be moving on to start probation. He feels as though everyone who helped out with recruit class offered valuable information, tips, and contribution to my growth. He thinks we all contributed to each other and helped along the way. We all had each other's back. Low point was getting stuck in the maze the first week, and that was an extensive time period. But good job. Eventually you figured out what a left-hand search is, how to get out. Thank you, Keith, Sharon. Garrett, high point was water rescue day, so any day I can get in the river or ocean, I'm stoked. I learned a lot, and it was great to see everyone having fun while training. Thank you, Riley, and whatever other water rescue guys are in here. Big impact. Captain Thor and his hose class. I just remember him saying, when you're in a fire, just listen to the hose. It says, shh. Too bad he's not here. But yeah, that's definitely Thor. And everything will be okay. That was the rest of it. Everything will be okay. That for some reason stuck with me. I'll always remember to flow and go. It is a thing when you have a fire, you get a little bit amped up. So being able to calm yourself down and focus on what you're doing is important. So he wasn't just being funny, but that is Thor, pretty much constantly being funny. Contribution, I don't know if I made a positive impact on others, but I know Josh Lascano has made a positive impact on me. He was always there with me early in the morning to practice skills. I will miss sunrises over the wit while throwing ladders with him. So very. So like I said, yeah, the 7 to 8 in the morning, there were things happening that they were bonding. Low point was a midterm ladder throw, dropping the ladder in conjunction with being ill. He had a fever. And Captain Westerman was so gracious and really helped me with the refocusing. I probably just yelled at him. So, no, I'm kidding. Other thoughts. Incredibly proud of Jeff. Can't imagine moving across the country for a job and staying so positive and upbeat all the time. Tip off the hat to Jeff. Thanks for sharing, Garrett. Jace, high point. When Chief Lay came in on May 9th and told us we've done a great job, but he left a little one word out, I think.
I said really twice.
Yep.
Really, really good job.
Big impact. Dozens of crews came out, all just to help us out. It was humbling and encouraging to have so many people care about our learning and growth. Common theme, huh? Contribution to someone said other people in my past took time to teach me different aspects of the fire service, of this fire side of this academy, and I was able to forward on a lot of knowledge throughout our academy while I was learning as well. Learn one, do one, teach one truly came into play. Low point. It's a great one. Tyler, you got this video? Jace is very accomplished, almost like everything is super easy. So when he screws up, that's when you want to, it's like showcase it. And also how he responds to it, which was graciously, to say the least. Throwing the ladder upside down while on Engineer Manley's video camera. Other items, we've truly appreciated having such a great training staff. I feel the staff truly wants us to be prepared for the line and to not feel intimidated. which has been a great learning environment. I feel very ready for the line. So, thank you, Jace, for sharing. That's the recruits get to have a ton of advice and, you know, hey, you know, remember this and don't forget, you know, you're here to learn and blah, 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 which is all very true. I think of the contribution you will have to the rest of the organization, which we, you know, that one, let me see, the statement. People are the fire department's most important resource. We've heard that, and I like to just change it a little bit. People are the fire department. So our people, this conglomeration of all these personalities, all the interactions, who we are is our reputation, and that comes from what we do, how we interact with the public, how we treat each other. And so culturally, as a fire department, the people are the fire department. That's who we are. So, and I'm very proud of our fire department. We do a great job. We're on a really, I would feel like I don't know, maybe 15, 20-year high right now. Things are really changing in a positive way. And these 6 recruits will only make it better. So they'll add to it in their own special way. So I was, like I said, fortunate to have 6 great humans here in my first academy, and good luck.
Thank you, Captain Giles, and for those kind words. And like I was saying when I introduced him, definitely a varsity level educator. I don't know if there's any other professional educators in here, but that was an example of how he wedged 7 weeks worth of lecture into 14 weeks. And we're getting ready for a video, but I have to tell a story real quick because did you guys get any extra points on your tests because of me over the course of your academy? I see Jace, you're shaking your head no. I know you guys certainly had an opportunity because I took time out of my schedule on one Friday when they were doing the feet test to come out and run it with them. Like, stopped what I was doing. I said, okay. Any of you guys that beat me, you can have 5 extra points on your written test this week. Anybody. It was also April 1st, and they forgot that I had access to the maze before we ran the test. So I happened to be the only one running the maze or running the feet that day that knew how to get through the maze. So, but as Emily's getting it ready, we're going to show you a quick video of just some highlights of their 14 weeks. Thank you, Manny. I know you're in the back room making sure everything is working correctly. I'd like to invite Deputy Chief of Operations Mike Caven up to deliver the oath of office. Class 29, prepare to receive the oath.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully perform the duties of firefighter. That I will strive for the preservation of life, property, and the environment, and act for the good of the community. That I will uphold the rules and regulations of this department, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of my position.
Be seated. Captain Giles, Captain Meyer. Oh, before that, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead a little bit here. I'd like to invite up EMS instructor Jonathan Hayes for a presentation. Nice try. Ha ha ha.
You don't want to go after me in these presentations, let me tell you. That's just a distraction as I'm getting everything hooked up. Feel free to dance. Don't let me be the only one, baby. If y'all don't know that song, you should learn it. Post haste. This might be my last presentation. Hold on, stand by. Must be childproof or something here. All right, look at the pretty flowers. Don't pay attention to the man behind the podium. All right, I think this is gonna do it. Oh, snap. All right, my bad. Okay, let me find the volume here. Sorry. We'll just let it ride. How's everybody? Good? I usually operate in my own little world. This is normal for me. Welcome. I'm glad to see everybody. Some of you folks I was able to see at the meet and greet. Certainly these knuckleheads, these gentlemen. I'm glad to see everybody sitting here in front of me today. I didn't really have any doubt throughout the process that they were going to do well because we were just so awesome. But there's always a chance. But I just wanted to take a minute to address the class and of course their loved ones. We really think that in our training department that knowledge is power. Though I liken it to a flower, that even rhymed, you see that? The depth and the strength of the roots directly affect the success of the fruits. I just made that up this morning, right? But I like this illustration because it shows, this flower is here in this barren landscape. And most plants and people even would not be able to be successful, but there are many instances where people are able to take things and grow and get better and persevere. And that is something that's very important to us here at Eugene Springfield Pioneer. I can talk. Y'all just gonna work? No, I didn't think it was gonna work. So this is supposed to be like the Newton's cradle. I'll demonstrate. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, okay, boom, baby. You see that? And so a good instructor or program, it's not about saying, hey, here's a list of stuff, and memorize it and recite it back. It's about embellishing, or not embellishing, but let me slow down. It's about inspiring our people to seek more knowledge. That is the great thing about knowledge, is that when you get some, it makes you want to get more. And then when you start looking for more, you pique new interests you never even knew that you had. And so in a way, we're able to actually create that perpetual motion machine. It's just intellectually. The perpetual motion does not exist because sooner or later, all that energy will be dissipated. But if you go into this career with the mindset that you're going to always get better and make those around you better, then you will always find success here. That is what we're thinking about. This also kind of demonstrates how it felt with them always asking me questions. Just coming at me. No matter what, saying, okay, I need a break. Hold on, back off. But it is certainly about more. We do not practice cookbook medicine here, so you can't just come in and memorize something and pass. You're going to have to show how you can apply that and incorporate it and build on it. Yeah, that's me right there. Luis, Jace, Keith, and Josh right there. That's what happens. So we challenge these young men to come in, and when they're running an EMS call or a fire call, this is what it feels like. It's a million things happening at once. They're coming to a crossroad. It's okay to go here. It's not okay. They may have to completely change their approach to the patient or the scenario based on what they're seeing and what they're experiencing. And that's what we have taught them here, is how to take all this information and knowledge and make the right choice every time so we can provide excellent patient care as well as support our peers so everybody goes home safe. They have to choose the right path, and not only that, but they have to be able to tell us why and how. We didn't start at step one. This is literally a representation of me and Jace on the feet test. So this is Jace. He's got all this extra energy, and he's at the top dancing. This is me, just one step at a time. That's it. We're done. I'm finito. And so look at that. He's dancing every time. So we didn't have to start. We didn't go with a method of starting at the beginning and then just kind of reteaching these gentlemen what they already knew. We trusted that they were paramedics, and we took them, instead of starting at step 1, we started at step 5. And so the end product are much more well-rounded medics that are going to go out and hit the street and be able to handle whatever situation comes their way. I'd be more than happy to send y'all this if you want to laugh later on, because it's fantastic. However, one of the things that we really emphasized was self-care and balance. Has anybody not seen the movie Encanto? I'll sing it if you want me to sing it. So we actually were watching like clips from that, and initially it was like early on, so they're looking at me like I'm crazy, like what is this dude talking about? But there's a character in there that is so dependent on helping other people that she just, doesn't take very good care of herself. And so we talk about self-care and being balanced, mentally, emotionally, physically. If you're not on top of your game, if we don't stay where we need to be, it's going to ultimately impact our patient care, it's going to impact our interaction with our crew, and indeed the entire community. And so you have to make time. And I did give extra points on our test. I asked the gentleman, hey, when you go out this weekend, do not try to sit there and study for, 48 hours in a row. If you go out to a winery or somewhere out, take a picture of you with your loved ones, to show that you're getting that support and you're focusing on that balance, I'll give you extra points on the test. Surprisingly, only like 3 people did it. I'm like, man, you better take that lady out, get something to drink, man, because you got to take care of her, because mom ain't happy, nobody's happy. Right? So we are relying on you to continue to support them as they enter this career. It's going to be some rough times. It's going to be things they're not comfortable with talking about. Always ask. Keep pushing them to share. If they don't want to talk to you, get them to talk to somebody. But there's too many things that we see that over the course of a career can have very serious and negative impacts on everybody. So we really wanted to focus on that, and I think we did a good job of doing that. And now a joke. You may have heard this. If you have, please stop me. So there's a group of tourists visiting a crocodile farm in the Florida Keys. The owner of the farm said, hey, anybody that jumps in that water and swims to the shore, I'll give them $1 million. Everybody's looking around like, well, I'm not doing that. Or they're thinking, maybe I can make it. All of a sudden, this guy jumps in the water, frantically swimming across. We don't know if he's doing the breaststroke, the doggy paddle or what. He gets over there. The owner's like, wow, we have a winner. They make their way back to the shore. And he's like, sir, how did you work up the courage to do that? I mean, God, were you an Olympic swimmer or what? He's like, no, I don't even know how to swim. Somebody pushed me. And his wife is standing behind him like, yeah, it was me. I pushed him. And so the moral of that is that behind every successful person, there's someone there to push them to do things they didn't know they could do. And that is absolutely something that these gentlemen are going to need going forward. There's going to be some highs. There's definitely going to be some lows. So please remember the importance of your role in that. It is critical. I'm almost to the end. Chief's brevity, he left extra time on the table. I'm taking it. Oh, gosh, we all love these folks, right? So Equifax, I hate them because I used to have really bad credit because I didn't know anything about it. I was being judged based on these numbers on this paper. Had nothing to do with me being a great individual with a winning smile and a really shiny head, right? They're just looking at this paper and just based on this number, I couldn't do this, or I could do it, but it's going to cost me 3 times as much as this other person. And so I didn't really like that very much. I learned some lessons, fixed some things, but a major part of our responsibilities as medics and firefighters is to document and record what we do. And so every time we run an EMS call, almost every single time, unless it's a patient non-contact, we have to write a chart to talk about what we did. And those charts are looked over. It could be 5 years from now, you're called to court based on the case that you ran 5 years ago, and all you have to go on is that chart that you wrote. And so it's very important that you document that, but not just for liability purposes. We don't teach folks to write good charts for good chart's sake. We teach them to provide excellent patient care and then just write down all the things that they did. Therefore, our patient care will be stellar. And the chart is just, documenting that. So that's the concept that we were pushing in our academy. So when you see this, this little A here, out of context doesn't really mean a lot. But when you add as friends, we all know what that means. I think I got an alert just now where I got a delivery at the house waiting on me right now. So that logo for Amazon, people call it the Amazon smile, but do you know what that logo actually means? It's their representation that they will sell you everything from A to Z. And they absolutely do. You can go on your phone right now and get about anything that you want. Our charts are going to cover our patient care from A to Z. Everything we see, everything that somebody says, whatever we do, what happens after we do it, after we reassess that patient, all of those things are important. We want to make sure that we're going to that we do that and we instill the importance of that. And that starts as soon as those tones go off. We don't show up on the scene and start thinking about our plan and start thinking about our chart. We're already processing all that information and how we're going to apply it to our chart when we get there. I'm just get past that. So, say all that to say, your pen or your keyboard then is your Excalibur. It's your protection. It's going to allow you to provide care for your patient. When you had a tradition, Nurse Anderson right here, she started a tradition called the Golden Pen Award, where we would give a golden pen, back in the day it was like the cross pen, for the person that wrote the best charts throughout the academy. So I would give these gentlemen a scenario. You're dispatched to a blah, blah, blah patient with whatever, and they had to talk about what they would do, what happened when they did it, so on and so forth. And whoever wrote the best charts, they would get this golden pen. Nurse Anderson retired recently, but she still came back to help teach. And so instead of calling it the Golden Pen Award, we've changed it to the Nurse Karen Anderson Award. Still following the same things that the individual that gets this writes the best charts, but not just by writing it, they are doing the best patient care that will then be reflected in that chart. She actually came out, I think, and taught like 5 or 6 classes with us. She came out on neuro assessment days to help us out. She was always very engaged in the classroom, and we were very lucky to have her here. I don't think these women would be as prepared as they are now if she wouldn't have come out to help me, because I don't know a lot of stuff. And so our Golden Pen or Karen Anderson Award is going to be awarded for this academy to Keith Anderson. It's just a coincidence that they have the same initials and the same last name. Are you related to Nurse Anderson? I never asked you. Was she giving you help on the side? And so here it is. Sir, come on up and get it. Please have a seat. And so I'll leave you with this, is that the one thing that matters is the effort. You know, don't ever think that you're going to have a day that you're, oh, I'm done with EMS, or I'm done with this, or I'm done with that. Just continue to get better. It's the effort that matters. Somebody climbing a mountain, there's just always going to be another mountain. So if their goal is just to get to the top, then that goal doesn't really mean that much. But if their goal is to get better and faster and continually improved, then they will continue to do so. So thank you for your time. Congratulations. I can't wait to work with you out on the streets.
EMS instructor Jonathan Hayes. I've been working with Jonathan for a couple of years, and he keeps requesting to go outside training, and it has really helped, Jonathan. Captain Giles, Captain Meyer, and Instructor Manley, please come up and get ready to deliver the badges. So this is traditionally when the recruits receive their badge. It is a moment in time that marks that they're ready to go out and serve the community. It is an outward acknowledgement of the responsibility they're taking, just like receiving the oath of office. And so I'd like to start by inviting Keith Anderson up. And Keith, who's badging you?
How do I do it? Oh, it's up there.
Garrett Corberry.
If you want to give me a phone when you come up, you want me to take a picture or a video with your phone, I don't mind doing that.
So Class 29 got specific instructions to make sure that everybody that was badging them was prepared and I see that they did a great job. Yeah. I only told them like twice or maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Jace Keller. Josh Lescano.
I'm not his girlfriend, I'm his mother.
I see where Josh gets it.
Jeffrey Newhouser. Just got an Amazon package. Luis Zaragoza. So thanks again to everybody that came to support these 6 up here. And over the last hour, you've heard stories and calls for your continuing support and how hard and challenging this career is going to be. It is a great career, though. It is unbelievably satisfying, and it is all of these words of caution and encouragement really are just because we have you here and we have the moment to tell you. But don't let it cause you too much pause, because they have chosen a very admirable career. They're going to do a wonderful job. They're going to have a great career, and they're going to be safe because they were very well trained. I'd like to invite everybody here to join us in the lobby for cake and punch. The recruits, I am going to ask them to go out to the fountain right after this and get a group photo. Chief, I present Class 29 ready for assignment.